Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astrogat Mysore. So I have done already two videos with regard to defining the malefics or the prime malefics for Aries Ascendant and Taurus Ascendant. So I think that is video number 403 and 404. This is video number 405, in which I am actually defining the malefics for the Gemini Ascendant. So why is this important to know which planets are bad for the chart? It's as good as understanding the chart itself as to where we go through hiccups and roadblocks and hurdles in our life. So let us understand one by one now. So we know that for Gemini Ascendant, Mercury is the ascendant lord and it is also the fourth lord. So Mercury becomes the ascendant lord and the fourth lord. No, fourth lord, the ascendant lord. So Mercury owns two quadrants, the first house and the fourth house. Usually, when a planet is owning a quadrant, and that too here it owns two quadrants, it will give rise to Kendradipatya dosha. People can question here that how come the ascendant lord itself can give a dosha? Dosha means a malefic effect on the chart. It gives Mercury for Gemini can distract the person from his regular path and make him do too many things and expect too many things. He rises his own, expectation, the bar of expectation, and he would want to do that only. And he would not be satisfied with anything. He feels that everything else is mediocre. So he would want to do that extraordinary feat, and only then he feels satisfaction. This is the difficulty which a Gemini ascendant and a Virgo ascendant will face. Usually, it's more in the Gemini rather than the Virgo because Mercury becomes the 10th lord there. But still, Upachaya Sthanadipati, because here it is not Upachaya Sthanadipati. 10th house is Upachaya. But here it was first and fourth. It is only Kendras. So Mercury unnecessarily becomes a difficult planet for the native because the native's attitude will itself be a negative, will bear a negative effect over the native's progress. If you yourself are becoming an obstruction to your own progress, that is a tough thing to digest. So that is what is a difficulty here. So I would not give a clean chit to Mercury as being a great planet. There is a little bit of a malefic, portion associated with Mercury. So, but still, I will give it a tick mark, telling that it is the ascendant lord. It's great. But if people who have listened to me talking, they know that Mercury has some negative part to play, and what that is, I have told you. So, the second lord, being the Maraka, is Moon. Moon becomes the second lord. So, very clearly, for Gemini, Moon does not kill or it does not become a death inflicting planet, particularly only for Gemini ascendant. So, that means Moon loses its strength of being a Maraka in the chart. So, we will take it as a 50% good planet, There is a small negative, but still we'll take it as a 50% good planet because it is Kutumbasthana Adipati, Dhanasthana Adipati, and Annasthana Adipati. It's a Karaka for food, Anna, Kutumba, family, and Dhana, wealth. So many more other things. So it's also for the eyes and the teeth, and all these things have to be seen from the first house, second house. So the third lord is Sun here. Sun being the third lord for Gemini is fantastic, lordship of Sun. Sun, if it is placed in the third house, sixth house, and the 11th house for any given chart, it is well placed. And if it is the third lord, in any given chart, it's an extremely good lordship for Sun. But that doesn't mean that it will take away the negativities from Sun. It is going to give a certain portion of negativity, though it is a friend to Mercury. Sun will have a certain portion of negativity. It is not a prime malefic, so I will not define it as a prime malefic. I will put a tick mark here. It's a good planet for Gemini. There is a certain negativity. So this is a small into mark in a bracket. So we have Venus as the fifth lord and Venus as the 12th lord. So here Venus becomes a benefic. Though it is the 12th lord, it becomes a benefic. It is a partially because it's the 12th lord, it might make the person go through wasteful travels. If it is malefically associated, Venus cannot convert the malefic planet into a benefic planet. It will also go through some malefic influences. So Venus can give you wasteful travels, wasteful investments, hospital visits, XYZ. So because it is the 12th lord. But still, Venus is a very good planet for this particular ascendant, being the fifth lord, the lord of the fifth house, giving knowledge, wisdom, higher education, and being the 12th lord, it is the karaka for the 12th house, for understanding this creation through your five senses, your, so many other things. Senses are very well protected when Venus is there in the 12th house. So there is a slight malefic thing here, but still I'll give a clean chit to Venus, telling that it is a benefic for, because we are defining malefics here. I am still defining the smaller malefic parts of each planet. So we'll come to Mars, being the sixth lord. Mars is a great lordship of Mars. Being sixth lord, it's a fantastic lordship of Mars. But if it is posited in a good house, like the third house, like the 11th house, it gives a lot of strength, you know. But in a 10th house, that is also good. But still, it is a negative lordship, and being the 11th lord, it becomes a prime malefic. This is a very strong malefic for Mercury's ascendant Gemini. So Mars becomes a prime malefic, 100%. It's a very negative planet, but it can give very good results, I'll tell you, because it's a planet of aggressiveness. So that aggression can be very well utilized when it is very well placed. Like I told you, in the third house, even in the sixth house, it gives you good things. It doesn't mean that prime malefics are also there to give you only their malefic, strength or malefic results. They don't do that, but still, most of the things will be malefic. That's why they are called prime malefics. So then we have Jupiter, which is the seventh lord, being the Maraka, Bhadaka. I had forgotten in the Taurus class that the ninth lord Saturn becomes the Bhadaka, but I did just left it out because ninth and tenth lord, it was Karma Sthana Adipati, Karma Dharma Karma Adipati, and so I just left it. But here, very clearly, Jupiter becomes a Maraka, it becomes a Bhadaka, because for Dvisvabhava Rashi, Dvisvabhava Rashi means dual signs. So for dual signs, the ascendant is a dual sign. So the seventh lord becomes a Bhadaka. Bhadaka means the one who creates hurdles, and Maraka, depth inflecting planet. So this Jupiter, being the seventh lord, becomes, and also it is the Mula Trikona Sthana for Jupiter, makes it a stronger, seventh lord rather than a stronger 10th lord. So this is a big negative for it. So Jupiter also comes in line with Mars. Though it is the 10th lord, though it is the lord of karma, that is the house of profession, it still will gain the highest negativity, being the seventh lord. So it becomes a prime malefic for this. Because it is the 10th lord, we can reduce the strength of it being a malefic. It is not 100% malefic because it also controls the 10th house. So Saturn here is the 8th lord, and we know that Saturn in the 8th house or associated with the 8th house in any chart will give longevity because it is the karaka for longevity. It is a signifier, or it signifies longevity. So I will not take it as a negative placement, but still Saturn in many places might delay the events like late marriages. You know, it all depends on where it is placed. I am not doing predictive astrology here. We are defining malefics. So late marriages, late children, and late achievement of goals, or delayed achievement, we'll call it. So the waiting period is very high. you know, that frustration is will be there for Gemini people, as when Saturn is associated with the 10th lord or in the 10th house, in the 5th lord, with the 5th lord, Saturn being a retro and being associated with the 4th lord, he will not be able to buy his car on time, or vehicles, property. So the negatives are there associated. I'll put a small negative there, but being the 9th lord, being the Bhagyasthanadipati, he gets a huge tick mark. So it's not a prime malefic here. So the prime malefic here is Mars alone. Jupiter is, yes, a malefic, let's say 80%. But this is how the malefics are defined. I just told you all the planets and what all sorts of malefic associations that planet can have in the chart, and particularly for Mercury, you do not have a clear Yoga Karaka at all. That is for Gemini Ascendant. I have defined this with in the class of Yoga Karakas when I explained for Gemini Ascendant. So thank you very much for today's class.